It's a day of first this morning. To start with, it's the first time that it was today, May 16th, 2024. That date isn't likely to remember. I think in a week, it'll probably be forgotten. Was it the 16th or the 18th? Oh, we won't recall. But I will remember. This is the first time I was in front of you. And we will not forget that we were here, all of us together, for the first time. The thing is, first days and first times like this are what add up to a life. Being here, I can't help be reminded of my own graduations. I was the first in my family to graduate from college, which meant I was the first to graduate from high school. There always seems to be a little bit of nervousness at these celebrations. At my first graduation in kindergarten, I proudly stepped up to the auditorium at Magnolia Elementary School in front of a packed audience of parents and administrators, and then stepped up and fell off the end of that brightly lit stage and landed at the feet of everyone sitting in the front row. I got back up. Then at my last graduation from Harvard Law School, when my name was called out, I was a little better that time. I stood up in my chair, crossed the granite steps of the library, accepted my diploma, then froze in front of the dean, 2 Supreme Court justices, my classmates and their friends, not sure what to do next. I hadn't bothered with the rehearsal. Finally, the law school dean leaned into me and whispered, "Young man, shake my hand." Of course, it wasn't a whisper because there was a hot mic in front of him, and his advice fluttered across the entire quad. First-time jitters. I was also the first foster child that my foster family decided to keep, the first to want to watch other kids come and go, and to leave that house and never come back. But was I the first foster child to be student body president, or the first quiet boy to be a state debate champion? No. Just like I wasn't the first to lose his mom to mental illness, have a sheriff's deputy evict us from an apartment, and to spend a first night in foster care. Then after that, was I the first gay kid on a swim team? No. Was I the first kid with a secret crush? Definitely not. A full scholarship to college and becoming a Fulbright scholar? Not there either. It all just felt like first times because they were the first to me. And getting them all to fit together, when I think about it, they feel like a cloud of contradictions. And some of them are lonely ones that'll never make much sense. Life doesn't always fit in one piece as easily as it should. The challenge isn't to pull everything together, but to understand that good things and bad things can stand side by side, and that all of it can be part of a meaningful and happy life. Part of feeling joy is having moments without it. There are 2 kinds of firsts. First, because of who you are in the world, where you've come from, and how that makes you one of the very few. The first to push through all the tests and essays, to go through the required classes that bored you to your last end, and the ones that you wanted to take and looked forward to being there. All of them making you the first in your family or your neighborhood to graduate and hold that diploma in your hands. Then they're the first for you, somewhere in the past. The first time you got an A in a class, went on a date, took your first driver's license test, put your foot on that accelerator and the car lurched forward, and maybe the first time you got pulled over and handed a ticket. Those first times, those ones ahead of you, are probably the ones you're most thinking about now. Finding that first apartment, making it through an interview, getting a new job, meeting new coworkers, and having a boss, opening a bank account, and getting a paycheck. On that last one, try not to be too surprised when you look at it for the first time, and it's a little less after everything's been taken out. try to remember that those all are first for you and get through those challenges, but you're not alone in doing it for the first time. Hard as it might be, being one of the very few, know that you won't be the first to ask for help. You won't be the first to text or call, to say, I'm having a hard time, or that things just haven't gone my way in a little while. Aside from asking the ones in this room who've taken this journey alongside you, they're likely to get it right. They'll know how to listen, and if they don't know the answer right away, they'll know how to find one. Or ask a roommate or friend, post something online that you want some encouragement from anyone out there. And you'll be surprised how many actually are there. There'll be that worry. Did I overshare? Did I not appear as buttoned up and put together as I should be? But the truth is, most will feel honored that you did share. I didn't do enough of that. Talk to people and trust they could listen. I got through it, and you will too. But it's a lot tougher on your own. And maybe you've learned to be tough. Being tough isn't bad, but you don't have to be tough all the time. There will be people who don't get it right, who won't understand what you've fought, what you've won, and what it took to do that. I was invited on a TV show a few years back. The host's name was Tavis Smiley. He was big back then, which explains why some of the older ones in this room are smiling right now. I put on my suit and favorite tie, a blue and yellow one, and I walked out into the sound set. Tavis mostly ignored me when I took my seat, my face covered in what felt like a half-inch of studio makeup. He read an introduction that was not all that different from the one you just heard, though the one just now felt kinder. Those ones, all first times. He looked me straight in the face, with the camera rolling, and straight out of the gate, he asked, "None of those things were supposed to happen, were they, Andrew?" I didn't know what to answer. I looked down at the floor. I glanced back at him, and all I wanted to say was, "What do you mean they weren't supposed to happen? Because of where I've come from, they weren't supposed to happen? Or because just who I am, they weren't supposed to happen?" I did what all of you have done. I told him what I thought he wanted and let it go. Oh, I was just lucky. That answer hurt a bit. I didn't know Tavis Smiley, and he doesn't know me. What I do know is he got it wrong. Everything was supposed to happen. We share that, you and me in this room. Everything was supposed to happen because you worked so hard to get there. Some people won't get it right. They won't understand what it means to be one of the first or the very few, and what they say won't feel good. The lesson there is that they don't mean it. They're trying and doing their best. So give them a chance and cut them some slack. And some of them won't be strangers. They'll be ones you know and know you. They may be ones you love. People will disappoint you, but that's just being human. Be patient with disappointment and not just walk away from them. Even when so much in your life may have told you to do just that, walk away. Hang on to others and give them a chance. Because if you had walked away, every person who fumbled or didn't know you walked away from them, you wouldn't have made it today in these very seats where you are. Sometimes it won't be someone else, but it'll be you who disappoints yourself. Same applies. Cut yourself slack, be patient, and above all, be kind to your heart. So much is about practice and time. You'll smooth yourself out and get through that interview. You'll learn to deal with difficult bosses. You'll get better at asking for things for yourself. You'll know how to care and love for someone. And when you find that job and meet that person, everything that came before it was just practice for the thing that mattered. The last, and I think the most important thing, the one that all of us already know, is that being the first doesn't make the past go away. For me, I still think of my mom. I still have a nightmare now and then. There are moments of anxiousness that I still have and don't make much sense. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with imperfection, because it is part of you. Those imperfections, those pieces of the past, are what make you different. They're what make you understand things that don't come so easily to others. They offer strength and wisdom, and with a bit of work, they will give you kindness. They make you care in ways that others may never learn how. Being the first isn't easy, but it has given you so much. Hold on to that. Never give up. Remember who you are and where you came from. Never let someone take that from you. Hold on to that strength that you have, and know that you are not the first, but one of the very few, which means you are not alone. You, above all, do and will matter to yourself and those around you. And all your success, your accomplishments, you have earned them. And yes, they were all meant to happen. Down to this very one now, and to the ones that are waiting for you ahead. Thank you for having me with you today on this day, because it is the first time that I will always remember. Thank you so much.